period where Roy is sort of a proto-modern Roy. So his ride cymbal on this pattern sounds more kind of like Max Roach. There's a legato quality to it. But Roy's 100% one of my favorite jazz drummers of all time. And what's interesting though is he starts to bring in the inner triplet as part of a deeper presence on the snare drum and the bass drum. But this is also really super, super duper important. So in jazz, syncopation and the triplet feel is consonant, meaning the offbeats and the triplet feel is part of the linguistic milieu of this language. Duple-oriented rhythms, 16th notes, straight eighth notes are dissonant in this style. Not saying it's bad, but it's kind of like, there's a bit of like so in music theory terms, dissonant means it's not at rest. It needs to be resolved. Straight figurations create tension. And Roy has a particular way of he's just the ultimate badass. 100%. He moves away from being behind the band to actually, in his comping, being as front and center. And this is sort of what we see with modern jazz drummers, is they take a more prominent role in the co-creation of the music. And in addition to that, using this Max Roach phrase, he also incorporates unambiguous straight notes. So we hear this a lot in this record. What's interesting is we run into an issue where the ride cymbal, if I'm playing straight here, I have to make a decision. I'm either going to play, and at some point I'm going to make a huge series about this because I spent like 15 years going deep with this. But basically, the Chapin method is the dotted eighth note becomes the ride. And I went kind of far down that rabbit hole. You could also keep the ride as a triplet. So Ari will always play the ride cymbal as triplets. So that creates like a polyrhythm. But Roy and actually Antonio Sanchez do this as well. The ride cymbal moves just to the eighth note. So using dissonant notes, I don't have to change the ride too much. So like I went really, really far down the Chapin road where triplets and 16th notes, I got really good with this. And then like studying with Ari and taking some of these rhythms, I would take the ride with the duple. I would have the 16th note on the ride right here. I mean, it's super cool. And John Riley said, "Steve, you're a fusion drummer." And that was like, ouch. But he was kind of right when I played it that way, because you lose a little bit of the feel. So how you, and I got really obsessed with this way of playing. And you know, Roy Haynes doesn't play that, but it was a huge inspiration for me. And so when I listen to Roy play, I hear really clear subdivisions and comping language used almost as a soloistic tactic in communication. 100% one of my favorite drummers. So Roy too, when we start to listen to the 60s, so let me finish with that. Roy is bebop in his ride cymbal pattern because it doesn't really deviate. The ride cymbal doesn't really deviate from the triplet feel.